Start my truck, let's all jump in. Here we go together. Nice cool breeze and big palm trees. I tell you, life don't get no better. Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now.
Welcome viewers to another extraordinary episode of Talk the Talk with me, Desh, and thank you for joining us. In this episode, we will be reviewing the Subaru Impreza. In our first segment, let's talk car of the week with Nita Stadler. After that, we have our talk tip of the week, where our talk tip specialist Ashley Roos will be telling us a bit more about the different types of exhaust and what you need to know about them. And lastly, we have our talk of the town, Lurika van der Walt, who is the owner of Atterbury Motors. Let us get straight into it with our first segment by welcoming Nita Stadler.
Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. I go, ane. Chucking more fina, anane. Chucking more fina.
So viewers, the Impreza surely made an impression on me. It isn't just a red hot speed producer. The Subaru Impreza WRX is, but you will find the other derivative makes for an ideal family vehicle. It still has great performance, but it's just a bit more tamed and filled with comfort and safety features. In fact, it has many achievements for its safety features. I'm talking in-cab, ANCAP and Eurocap. But Nita is here to tell us all about it. So Nita, who is the target market and why do you love this car so much?
Well, Dee, it's athletic enough for a singleton, but also spacious enough for a medium-sized family. And with all of its generous offerings, I have no doubt in my mind that every owner will be pleased to own this sporty sedan.
Definitely, Nita. Tell us more about the Impreza's appearance.
Well, Dee, the Subaru Impreza WRX is iconic on the rally and has so become stigmatized for its racing nature. This is seen even on the sedan family-friendly derivative, on design cues such as the sporty 17-inch alloys, side sill spoiler and chrome-plated door handles. The fascia has a black mesh grille, which is accented by a shiny chrome strip and the signature starry badge. The automatic headlights are enhanced with LED and daytime running and steering response, which means the light moves in the direction that you pilot the steering wheel to ensure illumination where your wheels are going.
Okay, so Nita, what do you love about the inside?
The previous Imprezas weren't too extravagant with the cabin design, but Subaru was nitpicking on this design, and it's evident in the leather upholstery, alloy paddles and footrest, as well as on the paddle shifters. It's not as long as the conventional sedan, but the stretched wheelbase does wonders to make the interior more spacious. Head, knee and legroom is good, and the 460-litre boot is big enough to house daily living, like the kids' book bags, groceries and more.
Okay, so I'm sure the Impreza is packed with all kinds of features and tech. Please tell our viewers a bit more about the Impreza's features.
Okay, Dee.
Okay.
So it has two displays, a 6.3-inch multifunctional display and an 8-inch infotainment system display, of which the latter is a class runner. It has high resolution and is easy to use and to understand. It also features all the modern connectivity features and navigation. Cruise control, smart entry with push engine start, dual auto climate control and vehicle dynamics control has all been integrated for a comfortable and convenient trip. D, as previously mentioned, the Impreza is serious about safety, and this is thanks to its abundance of security features such as rear cross traffic alert, blind spot monitoring, pre-collision braking, lane sway and departure warning, adaptive cruise control and a reversing camera. It also has eyesight drive assist technology, which is a combination of intuitive technologies incorporated to monitor your surroundings and ultimately protect you while driving. One of its features is the dual cameras that scan the road for unexpected risks and possible collisions from other vehicles to pedestrians crossing the road and even cyclists and joggers in your blind spots.
Okay viewers, I am so excited to share my driving experience of the Impreza with you today, and this is why. The 2-liter engine produces 115 kilowatts of power and 196 Newton meters of torque, which doesn't sound like much, but it's more than enough of a spirited drive. It's not as thrusty as the WRX, but it has more than enough heart for performance-filled driving and more than enough power to haul around a family of 4 and their luggage comfortably. But it's also tamed enough to provide you with pleasantly controlled city driving. It has a claimed fuel consumption of 7.2 liters per 100 kilometers, but I anticipated it to be much more considering its racing nature. I must say I was really impressed. Again, impressed by the fact that I got a figure close to what Subaru promised. This is due to plenty of fuel saving features and the fact that this vehicle is considerably lighter than its predecessor. Subaru is renowned for its CVT Boxer units, and this family sedan also features one. So it has the iconic smooth drive as well. The accurately balanced steering and torque vectoring system work wonderfully together to provide you with a pleasant and weighted handle. Up next, we have our talk tip of the week with Ashley Roos, and we will be discussing the different types of exhaust tips.
Wind up, go down, wind up, go down. Twist your body backward. We go left, left, we go right, right. Turn it around and forward.
Ash.
Hi Dee.
Again, thank you for joining us.
Again, it's a pleasure having me.
Okay, so Ash, please tell our viewers all about this very educational topic.
Yes, Dee. So I'd like to start off by saying that exhaust tips are one of the most popular parts that are added onto your vehicle in general.
Okay.
Therefore, if you're looking to find the perfect one, you will notice that there are different shapes such as round, oval, rectangular, and square, along with different materials such as aluminium, stainless steel, and chrome. There are even different colors available such as black, tan, chrome, and even polished for optimal results. Exhaust tips are mainly designed to amplify the sound of your exhaust tip, being fine-tuned to the smallest sound each type of exhaust tip offers. Before installing any exhaust tip, you should measure it and determine through research and a professional whether it is compatible with your vehicle and also whether it is safe and legal to use and drive on the road with.
Okay, so Ash, can you maybe share with us some of the different types of exhaust tips? Actually, before you go on, I had an email from one of our viewers that asked for this tip, so let's get into detail with that.
Okay.
Okay.
With pleasure, Dee. So first up, there's a single wall exhaust tip that is made from only one layer of metal out of each end, where a double wall exhaust tip has a metal layer that wraps into itself in an outer facing end. This design looks more completed and offers a fuller, more intense sound than a single wall exhaust tip. Then there is an intercooled exhaust tip. The name intercooled pretty much explains the function and design of the exhaust tip. This exhaust tip has ventilation around the inside that cools the gases when they exit through the exhaust system. It creates a softer, more subtle sound, almost like a whistle effect. The actual appearance of this exhaust tip has holes in the tip and has a finned housing on the outside that surrounds the inner exhaust pipe and gives it a flaring and turbine-like look.
Okay, is there any more different types of exhaust tips?
Yes, Dee.
Okay.
There's always more. You also get a turned-down exhaust tip. This exhaust tip is also known as dump outs and offer a louder sound that uses the surface of the road to amplify the sound, as well as change the direction of the emissions away from other drivers driving behind your car. Then there's also a straight cut exhaust tip, and this exhaust tip is designed the same as the original stock equipment on your vehicle. The only difference is a slight change in the sound and the performance it offers. Its appearance looks traditional but reflects its performance. And finally, we have a rolled edge exhaust tip. This exhaust tip's appearance is stylish with an inward curve and a bold, rounded, smooth outlet edge. and this exhaust type sounds and looks much bigger and better than your standard exhaust.
Oh, thank you so much, Ash, for another awesome talk tip. I really appreciate
it's
it.
a pleasure.
And thank you so much, viewers, because we really appreciate your feedback, and we most of our tips are based on your request. We really, really appreciate that. And then, thank you so much, Ash. And I must say thank you so much to our viewers. We really, really appreciate your comments and your suggestions. And that is why each week we have different talk tips to bring to you because of your comments. And now we are going to move to studio number 2, where we will be meeting Lurika van der Walt.
My bestie and your bestie sit down by the fire. Your bestie says she want parties, so can we make these flames go higher? Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. I go, I need.
Okay, for our final segment of this week's episode, our talk of the town, we have Lurika Schubert van der Walt, who is the owner of Atterbury Motors. Lurika is an ambitious and hard-working woman, and she believes that working in a male-dominated industry is an exciting opportunity to constantly push herself further and harder. When she heard of my initiative to empower women, she eagerly jumped at the opportunity to share her story in hopes of inspiring many other young women, especially in motoring. In my opinion, she is a role model in every sense of the word. So let's welcome Lurika Schubert van der Walt, the owner of Atterbury Motors, proudly brought to you by Sariti Solutions. Hi Lurika, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello Desh, thank you for inviting me. It's truly a privilege to be part of this initiative.
Aww. So let's start off by you telling us how and when did your journey in motoring begin?
Gosh, Des, it actually began in school. I realized early on that I'm an entrepreneur and that I love selling things and making a profit and the whole rush of it.
Yep.
So in school, we had a modest upbringing basically, and my parents could not afford to buy a motor vehicle for us to go study or pay university accommodation. So from an early age, I realized, well, we've got to make a plan and make ends meet and so on. As a teenager, I already started making plans for my future. So I baked cakes and sold those. So it started with cakes. And I saved up for that first vehicle. Afterwards, I went to study occupational therapy, actually. And because I always had a great love for people as well. But soon, even during my studies, I realized that I'm an entrepreneur and a businesswoman, and that's where my real passion is. I completed my studies, but even during those study years, my husband and I met him at that time, we started buying and selling cars.
Yeah.
And we started with a 15,000 Rand loan from my father-in-law. And we bought, our first vehicle was a 1986 Mercedes-Benz 250E. And we bought and sold that and made a profit, and we used to plow back all the money into the business. And within 1 year, we had a fleet of small, affordable student vehicles. Wow. So, well, I went on to do my community service year. During that year, I qualified myself as a finance and insurance business manager. And then I worked for about a year or so as a relief F&I at a variety of dealerships across Gauteng agents. And that's been such precious experience for us. Well, after that, we went to England and we saved up some more money, especially in mind to come and re-enter the motor trade again. So in 2007, we were back. And we started buying and selling cars again, wholesaling mainly to dealers. During that time, we also bought a few properties, which enabled us later to grow further. But during those early years, buying and selling vehicles cash, we realized, well, if we want to become proper dealers, we need to get dealer codes, we need to get maybe a floor plan, and we need to open a dealership floor. And that only happened for us in 2012, when we opened our first 60 vehicle floor in Gezina.
Wow.
And that was a real leap of faith for us,
Right.
because we had to invest a lot of money.
Yes.
We had to put a lot
Yes.
at stake.
Yes.
But we took the leap of faith,
Yes.
my husband and I at the time. And we signed that lease, and within 2 years we already grown so much that we grew out of our seams there, and we started looking for a bigger dealership floor.
Okay.
And we've been very lucky that we've been put in contact with a businessman which owned property in the area, and he built a custom-made floor for us to spec, 160 car floor,
Wow.
which we then opened in 2017. So our staff complement then went from about 12 to 15 people to now 35 staff we're employing. And nowadays, I'm selling 80 to 90 vehicles every month.
Well done.
So yes,
well
yes,
done.
that's the story in a nutshell.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I want to ask you something. So, you know, as the dealer principal or the owner of Atterbury Motors, do you find any challenges that you may face as a woman, especially in the motoring industry? This is for the women that are watching and that aspire to do what you're doing. What challenges would they most likely face?
You know what was a challenge for me, especially in the early years when I just started out, was balancing your life and not feeling guilty about not being able to be a full-time mother, or having enough time in the afternoons for your children. And it's easy to feel guilty and having to rely on our peers and tutors and so on. But luckily, as I grow older and more mature, I realized, well, our children has turned out to be such amazing little human beings that you should really not feel that guilty. Recently, I've also read an article which actually where they assist the children of full-time working mothers, and they generally get there very far in life. So I think us as women, we need to feel a little bit less guilty and give ourselves a little bit slack.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, we are generally very good at prioritizing.
Yes.
And we are natural mothers. We can also have a career. Other challenges in the motor industry have been, especially if you are a lady starting a business from the ground up, is especially if you're a first generation business owner, is getting all the systems in place, getting everyone there. It's easy if you just buy a franchise, or if you buy another business which got existing systems in place. But if you don't have the funds and the millions needed to build all those IT systems and processes in your business, that's very challenging. But I want to encourage women, you know, it's one step at a time. You take it day by day, and just to have faith and continue plowing back into your business and believing that you can actually achieve just as great results as the greatest agents out there.
Oh, wow, what a story, hey? Your current job at the moment is dealer principal, but no, you're not the dealer principal,
No.
right? You're the owner, and
Yes.
you have a dealer principal.
Yes, that's
Okay,
true.
so, you know, this is a difficult question to ask you. I often sit here with sales managers, and I sit here with executives, and I ask them, so what's your 5-year plan? What's your aspirations? And that's actually quite difficult to ask someone that it feels like you've literally achieved everything.
Oh no.
So I'm going to ask you, what is it that you'd like to accomplish in the next few years?
Oh, I've got great plans. You know, the motor trade has been so rewarding for me. Being a girl that sold cakes, turning to sell cars, and becoming an OT in between, and practicing a few years as an occupational therapist, and now selling cars. It's been an absolute amazing journey. And I still want to achieve so much. I don't really believe in grandiose dreams that's not realistic and that you are not necessarily able to do. I say rather just get your head down and start.
Yes.
Well, I've got big dreams regardless. I want to open another 3 to 4 dealership floors, and I don't like small floors. I want to give lots of people opportunity and sell lots of cars. So I would like another 3 to 4 200 vehicle floors, preferably having a footprint all over South Africa, starting maybe with another floor in Gauteng, Cape Town. Ultimately, I want to employ the odd 150 people. Because one of the things I enjoy most is mentoring people and taking them from an administrative position, for instance, and they're ending up a dealer principal, as with the lady currently working for us.
Right.
So there's nothing more enjoyable than seeing that growth over years and building that into people, and that's where my joy comes from.
You know, you're nominated. I mean, what you're saying now, we have a true testimony of what you're saying, because you literally, for the MWOT Awards, nominated your driver.
I did.
Yes.
And also my hostess. Also my hostess.
Your hostess, yes. And when we called them, they literally cried on the phone. We had to put the phone, they said, please can we put the phone down and phone you back?
You know, Desh, I'm so glad you're mentioning that.
Yeah.
Before I submitted our nominations of our company and the ladies, and we've got lots of ladies working for us, I'm proudly saying that 45% of our staff is women.
Okay.
And you'll later hear why.
Okay.
But I nominated these two girls, not girls, women, ladies.
Yes.
They've been they've made such a tremendous difference in our business, and we forget that what would a dealership be without clean cars, staff which are friendly and making your customers feel welcome. And you know what? Achieving that with the best of attitudes and supporting the other staff, we cannot give enough recognition to those people. And I would like to make a suggestion. Why don't we have a category in these awards in coming years for particularly those positions?
Absolutely, but that is what we intend to do with the Top Achiever Award.
It can be any position.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. So glad.
But Lurika, I know that you are the sister of two very influential men in the industry. Actually, great mentors of mine, Dirk and Van der Walt from We Buy Cars. Yeah. But you know, living in their shadow, and often people thinking that you might have been gifted this opportunity, and that's not the case, right? You literally started from the bottom, and I'm not taking away from the fact that they mentored you, but let's talk a bit about that.
You know what? I've been very privileged to have brothers that's so inspirational and so supportive. Yes. But I can proudly say there's been no financial assistance, there's been no other privileges that other dealers don't have. Yes. And yes, I do count myself as fortunate to have people to look up to like that, and also be so positive about us and what we are achieving, and so proud of us. Yes. So yes, I must say I'm extremely fortunate to have mentors like Van and Dirk, and they are a huge inspiration to us. We also, our parents, they literally brought us up to be proud of yourself and what you achieved. I remember my dad always bragging about my academics report and it not even being so great. So, and that's a culture in our family which I really appreciate, is each got his own space to be who they are, and that's just wonderful. I'm forever grateful about that.
Now, they're amazing human beings, I must say. Lurika, we often talk about transformation in the motoring industry in terms of women being more empowered. What transformation and what changes would you like to see take place?
Desh, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of transformation that one would like to see. Me being a woman and one of the only female owners of a business which built it from scratch, I would like...
A very young one, I might add. She's under 40. So let's just put that in there.
Yeah, until March next year.
And I'm under 40 too.
Yes. What I think is, what would be great for me to see is more dealer principals, female dealer principals, more female sales managers, and ladies actually going for those positions and applying and sending in their applications and CVs, we tend to find a lot of women aiming for the F&I positions, the administrative positions, but what women is missing to realize is we need women in all spheres of this business. We need stock controllers. For instance, I've got stock controllers, I've got drivers, I've got an accountant, an HR person, which are all women. And my own dealer principal is a lady, which came with a business for many years. So women has certain abilities which contributes tremendously to our industry. For instance, they are very good on attention to detail, on multitasking, and they've got such empathy with our
Not that we're saying guys can't multitask.
No, they
Let's
can.
just get
I've
that
got
straight.
just this wonderful men. But yes, this is a women platform, so
okay.
I'll make use of it.
Okay.
Yes, so women also got a lot of empathy with our customers after the delivery, and they tend to handle that and those complaints and after delivery issues so well. So yes, I want to prompt women to absolutely look at the whole industry, even the workshops. I believe they would make wonderful workshop managers, and not only think about the administrative positions. Put yourself out there, get yourself out there, apply for that position, pitch for that interview. And even if it's a technical one, if you've got related skills and knowledge, go for it.
Yes, absolutely. So Lurika, I would say 80% of your life takes up or is taken up by work, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your hobbies. Who is Lurika at home? And your kids, and I know you have two beautiful kids, right?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I've been stalking your Facebook page.
Yes. Yes, what we like to do after hours, yes, the motor trade takes a lot of your time, but luckily it's very important to find balance, and that's always been a bit of a issue with us women, to find balance in our life. But what I've been able to do lately is to travel more, to read more, to socialize more. So yes, we've not so recently we've done a trip to the Chobe River on the Zambezi Queen, and that's been life altering. We've seen so many animals. Next year in April we're touring the whole of Namibia. Oh wow. So you've got to make time for that. Yes. You got to. Yes. And also in December next year we're doing Norway. Oh wow. Currently, for the first time in my life, I made a not so good financial decision. Okay. And that was buying a property next to the sea in the last month. In Jongensfontein, and now we're busy renovating that, and we're going to start next year with, but we're doing the planning now. Right. So yes, it's important that we find balance, and that we don't neglect our own mental health and free time, and our children and our families. So I've got other hobbies. I love to read, I love to collect rare antique furniture, and mostly I love to socialize and have dinners at home and cook and feed people.
Aww.
Yes.
Okay, that property is no financial waste. I will be calling
You're
you
welcome.
up on that place by the sea soon.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Okay,
Yes.
So Lurika, recently you have been nominated for the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards. I personally nominated you.
Oh, thank you.
And you've accepted, and you've also gone through to the finals. Very proud of you. Congratulations on that. Yes. How do you feel about the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards? It's the very first time an award is attributed to women in motoring, actually in the world, not even just in South Africa. So,
yes, Desh, I'm really glad someone started such an initiative, especially if you look at the fact that normally it's less than 20% of people employed in the motor industry are women, and it's important that we highlight the various opportunities and the various positions available. There are lots of women that haven't even considered entering the motor trade, and as I mentioned before, we really need women, especially going into the digital phases of our industry and selling cars online. We need that attention to detail and that after delivery customer service so dearly. And there's many other ways in which women contribute significantly. So for the first time ever, so that's why I believe it's one of the best initiatives that's been taken in the last 10 years in the motor trade, and I've been for 20 years in the motor trade. So I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
On starting this. it is truly an empowering initiative. I think lots of opportunities will open up, and yes, I'm very, very proud to be part of this.
Oh,
that's why when
you.
you told me about that advertising platform of yours, I just said, oh, where do I sign? Because
it's just about women. I don't care how many leads I get. I just want to support you.
I don't care if I sell a car. I just want to sign up because we need to support, and we need to financially support initiatives like that, and actually balance the scale of opportunity a little bit.
No, absolutely. I have the most amazing and incredible support structure and system right here in motoring, and I'm so blessed to have that. So thank you so much, Lurika. Is there anything else you'd like to add to this conversation? I can go on the entire day sitting here and listening to you.
Yes, I want to know when my ladies is going to be on Facebook. I want to start voting. I'm so excited, and they are as well.
Believe it or not, we're still busy with 2020 award ceremony. So 2021 will start the day after, but you will get to know that.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Lurika, so much. I appreciate you coming through.
Oh, it's been such a privilege. Thank you, Desh.
Okay, and that for us is the end of yet another episode. Viewers, thank you for watching, supporting and following us once again. Also, please remember to follow us on our social media platforms, and don't forget we have thousands of vehicles on sale to choose from countrywide on our vehicle listing page at www.womantalk.co.za. You'll even find Lurika's cars there.
You will.
Ladies, woman empowerment is of great significance in the modern perspective. It refers to the activities undertaken to improve the status of women in the world. But for us here at MWOTI, powered by MFC, a division of Nedbank, and Talk the Talk, powered by Sariti Solutions, it is more specifically aimed in the motoring space. The female gender has faced systematic oppression for decades, especially in the motoring industry. But there is no better time than now to change this. The stories that these marvelous women share are genuine testaments of hard work and perseverance. And with those two qualities, you will surely succeed, just as Lurika has done. Her passion for people has led her to wish to see a nation develop, especially in the motoring space. And like us, she believes that actual woman empowerment will come by making the woman economically independent. And this is why, ladies, the question should never be who's going to let me. It should always be who's going to stop me.
Start my truck, let's all jump in. Here we go together. Nice cool breeze and big palm trees. I tell you, life don't get no better. Talking about hey now.